What's good? It's your boy Cito, 2 Cold, 2 Gold, and 2 Real. Welcome back to the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And gentlemen, today we have a special for you. We are doing a video review. Adam22 rage quits after getting fronted about his dealings with his wife. If you're not familiar with Adam22, Adam22 was basically the mediator on the No Jumper podcast who allowed his wife to get involved with some adult film, and even has watched it and such like that. So we're gonna get right into the video because this one is crazy, man. So stick around and see how this one ends. Let's get into it.
I'm trying to figure out like where your soul is, and as much as like removing money from the equation. And honestly, at this point, I don't even think money is really the driving force.
Right. To get it out there, me and her are both multimillionaires.
Right, exactly. The money's not the driving force. So
I'm not really doing anything with any of the money I make. I don't have any sort of like fancy habits or hobbies or anything like that. And she's the same way as me. I'm into buying property and starting businesses and stuff like that. But it's not really about the money and what we can do with it, because we don't really do anything with it.
You're actually broke. Here's the funny.
You got a milk dud on top of your head.
Here's the funny thing.
I'm just being real with you.
If I was actually broke, it literally would mean nothing to me.
Why did you do an NFT scam on your family?
If I was broke, it should mean absolutely nothing to you because, sir, you said that you got a lot of money and you know you don't do it for the money. So what is it that you do this for? You tell me. Let's continue.
Hands for like $400. I don't want to listen to this guy anymore, and I feel like I might do something extreme if I were to stick around.
When I first walked in, I said, "Do you want the fade?" And you said no.
When I walked downstairs, I asked you, "Did you want the fade?" When I walked downstairs, I asked you, "Did you want the fade?" And you said no. So already, guys, you can already tell that this conversation is getting a little illogical, a little emotional. Also, you can tell. You can, and you know, the guy is asking him, Saint Center is asking him straight up questions, and he's not really able to answer them, or he doesn't want to answer them, and he's getting emotional. So let's continue to watch, man. Let's see how this unfolds, man.
Woo, guys, I got a doozy of a conversation for you here today, but one that I think that is exceptionally appropriate. Adam22, the man who enjoys renting out his wife for the world to see, recently had a rage quit situation on the Whatever podcast at the hands of another creator who goes by the name of Saint and the Sinner. Now, what you guys are going to watch right now in real time is a clash of ideologies. In one corner, a man who would never rent out his wife for profit, and on the other, Adam22. Without further ado, so on this podcast, the host Brian starts off with introductions, including their relationship status. Let's watch Adam explain his.
I've been married for about 6 months. I've been in a relationship for about 7 years, and we are monogamous off camera, but we are open on camera.
To think that what you do digitally is different or should be represented differently than the way that you live within your personal life demonstrates the fall of society today. Those two things, just because you do it in the damn metaverse, are not different. You're not monogamous. As if doing it for viewers kind of lessens the blow of it being non-monogamy.
So, recently, and
what does that mean?
She said, "What does that mean?" Cause what do you mean? What do you mean we're monogamous off camera, but on camera we're non-monogamous? Yo, come on now.
What does that mean?
We work with other people in terms of porn content, but besides that, we're monogamous.
So they have to be getting paid if they're sleeping with other people. You like that? You like how I did that? Let's work.
So you recently were involved. You did like a reality TV series, kind of, to see who. Correct me if I'm wrong. To see who would be the next person who gets to have sexual intercourse with your wife, Lena. Is that?
Well, the reality show was intended to find our first girl.
Oh,
threesome.
sorry.
It was a 4-episode series on YouTube, and then the finale, the actual scene, is on our OnlyFans.
And you guys did the scene's done.
The scene it's been completed and decimated on the internet.
Who won the?
A guy named Lil D.
Lil D.
24-year-old gentleman from Harlem.
Is he a rapper? Or?
Adam writes, can't believe the world gets to see me bang my wife with another dude tonight on OnlyFans.
Yo, this is crazy.
Person who's gonna my wife is Lil D.
That's crazy.
Look at him laughing. Oh, this is so crazy.
Should we go upstairs right now?
I'm with it. I don't give a
Wow.
Let's do it. Boy, the things I'm gonna do to you.
Oh, I'm excited.
This is gonna be the night of your life.
Yo, this is wild. Not my wife, though.
He just won. Let him touch it.
I gotta be the husband of the year. Let me tell you, I am the one.
On the block all day with my wife and the dude I just banged her with. It's crazy to think how much of a flex that this is not, but he apparently is turning it into that because being a cuck is a kink to him, apparently.
Previously, there was this big thing where with Lena and Jason Love,
right?
That was a big thing.
That was her first time sleeping with another guy in 7 years of us being together, and she did that on camera. That was her first ever scene with somebody besides me.
And are you guys thinking of like continuing this trend, or like how do you feel about it? Because I've seen like some clips where you've kind of been like cool with it, but then others where you're kind of like, oh man, I don't know how I feel about it. Or
I mean, I was a little bit conflicted when she actually shot the scene with the other guy, just in the sense that, you know, she's going off and filming something with somebody else. I'm not there. When we shot the scene with the other guy, Lil D, I didn't feel any kind of weirdness about that. It was pretty mutual. Okay. So for sure, that definitely by the time we're done in the adult business, I'm sure she'll have shot other scenes with other guys and everything. Yeah.
Okay.
There's not a damn thing in life I'm going to be conflicted with when it revolves around my woman. To say that he was conflicted means to me that this was her idea and it's something that he was not comfortable with. Point number 2 of the fall of the man today, unable to communicate their desires and their wants in lieu of what their woman wants. But now that he has allowed this egregious thing to happen to his wife, his boundaries now expand. So another guy wanted to dip into his wife's viscous innards is not such a big deal anymore. The act of continuously opening your boundaries while in a marriage to the point of complacency is where we get the term happy wife, happy life. Now, at this point in the podcast, Satan the Sitter asked Adam22 a series of very intelligent questions. Pay attention, pay close attention to Adam's answers.
Gotcha.
Can I ask Adam a question?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is this for the money, or just like you're like, this is what I'm called to do?
Pay attention.
I would say it's primarily for the money, the same way that probably most of the girls here wouldn't be naked on the internet if they didn't have OnlyFans that were profitable for them. But at the same time, me and her have been hooking up with other girls for the duration of our relationship, and we actually had one off-camera boy-girl threesome with my wife and a friend of mine within like the first month that I met her. We were out drinking one night and we ended up having some fun in that sense. So it's not like completely outside the realm of things that I would do for free, but you know, we don't have a lot of crazy off-camera sexual experiences. Almost everything that we do that's out of the ordinary is on camera.
Your alarm bell should be going off right now because prior to doing this video with his wife, he was already a multimillionaire. So ask yourself, what is the soul, the decrepit layer of a soul of a human being that's already filthy rich, doing the most abhorrent shit, sacrificing the sanctity of his wife for even more money? This is a level of greed that can never be satiated. It can never be fulfilled. Only his need to be debaucherous is what satiates his being. That he already did a boy-girl with his wife a month into the relationship. Whoa.
So is there, because I don't know what you're worth, but I have a sense that you're doing reasonably well. So if there was no money to be made, would you continue on with it?
I think that was a conversation that her and I had that made us realize that we wanted to kind of start pushing the boundaries of what we were doing on camera. Was she said, do you really think that we're going to be together for the next 20 years and that we're never going to swap or bring
not answering the question.
Penis into our sexual situation? And I said, no, I definitely feel like I'm comfortable enough that I could see us doing that as time goes by. And then we ended up actually orchestrating it on camera.
Are you bisexual?
No.
All right, let's sign up. All right, so with regards to bringing the other dude in, would you say that was primarily driven by her?
I would say it was very mutual. You know, we just kind of realized that.
How is it mutual if you're not Okay, let me let the guy,
you know, after doing that Jason Love scene, we just didn't realize how viral the whole thing was going to be. And so we
it was mutual after that.
Got set on the path of thinking about how we could take it to the next level.
Right.
'Cause it ended up being like by far the most viral thing that any of us had ever been involved with. So at that moment, we kind of realized like, oh, this is kind of our thing now. We have to sort of push at the edges of our conventional relationship, and the people will be incapable.
Bruh.
Well, I mean,
Ain't
mostly
nothing conventional, bro.
well, I mean, we sleep with other girls, but off camera, our relationship is entirely traditional.
Crazy. All right, so what I'm really trying to figure out is, because you said you were uncomfortable with the Jason Love scene initially, right?
I was a little conflicted about it. It was a little bit of a weird thing.
And so I'm trying to figure out like where your soul is, and as much as like removing money from the equation. And honestly, at this point, I don't even think money is really the driving force.
Right.
Yeah, just to get it out there, me and her are both multimillionaires and have been for many, many years. Yeah,
exactly. So money's not the driving force. So if it were just up to you and she were a robot as opposed to a human, and you could have it to where you could have things open on your side but closed on her side, would you prefer that?
Good question.
To be honest, she came to me before we started pushing out the boundaries of our relationship.
Listen, I'm not gonna front, man. I'm really glad. Hold on. I'm really glad that they're having this open conversation, because it needs to be had. You know what I'm saying? You know, the more women are being liberated, these are the type of conversations that we have to have. And even myself, I was in a relationship where I would have allowed, you know, my significant other at the time to possibly go out and have something on the side. However, for me, it was just like, okay, I know that I'm not the type of person that wants to be with one woman sexually for the rest of my life, but I do want to be with a woman in the capacity where she is with me for the rest of my life, and that is where my emotions lay. That is where my pride, my joy lays. But I did try to open that up, and in that event, it just wasn't successful, guys. I mean, minus the recording, I'll tell you guys why in a little bit. Let's get back to it.
And she said, what do you think that we should do? Do you think that I should just kind of hang it up and have another kid, or do you think that we should keep doing this for a few more years and kind of see how far we can take things? And I said, you know what, let's push at the edges. Let's see how far we can take this. So it is primarily a financial thing, but also I can say that when we shot the scene with this other guy the other day, I had a great time. It was fun overall.
Like your time was enhanced because he was there. Because me personally, I like my meat to be the only one on the sandwich.
Right. It was exciting. It was exhilarating for sure.
Now, Adam, probably unbeknownst to him, is actually in a very precarious situation at this junction in the conversation, because he's allowing Saint to just cross-examine him. And already we hear so many contradictions within that cross-examine him. He just admitted a second ago that it was mostly for the money, but then he said before that it mostly is not money motivated. Then he asked, is he bisexual, to understand if there's some type of LGBTQ motivation. Right. Then he asked, was the idea of...
Because that's what I want to say. When in that event that I was willing to open up that one relationship that I was in, I told her, listen, I don't want to have no threesome. I want to have a threesome with me and you. But as far as you, if you want to do something, I'm not interested in having a train or a threesome with another guy. I'm just not interested in that. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, like I said, that situation didn't work out because when you get another guy involved with your woman and you let him into her mind, things change. And if you're not with a woman that's listen, it's just a lot here. I'm saying that's not my preference.
Involving a BBC into the relationship for profit, was that driven by her? Adam replies that it was a mutual decision, but how could it be mutual when you said previously that you had an issue initially with her doing it? Then as a follow-up, he asked, would you prefer if it was monogamous on her side while poly on your side? And Adam22 didn't even answer the question. Pay attention.
A hot dog is just like one hot dog on the buns. You're be like, you got all these Vieta sausages coming out the woodwork. So you find that it's enhanced by that? Because I find like
I thought it was fun. Yeah.
Okay.
In a different way than sleeping with other girls. We've done that hundreds of times together. Right. So this was something that switched it up a little bit.
Do you think with all of these unusual sexual experiences that it might lead you down a path to where you have to go to extreme things to get off?
I've been jerking off to the exact same type of content my entire life. So the idea that guys who watch porn have to sort of slowly get into more and more extreme
I'm not talking
content.
about watching it. You're in it.
Right, yeah, but I mean, I've been doing porn on camera with her,
yeah.
and this is the only thing that we've done that took it to another level.
Again, another contradiction. The fact that you're so used to and been involved with watching porn your entire life was the preceding event to you wanting to be a part of it, which is the preceding event of you wanting your wife to be a part of it with other men.
If we did 7 years straight of just having sex with other girls on camera, this is the only thing that we've done that kind of opened it up a little bit, to the tune of us becoming like probably one of the most viral couples in America in the past year. So in terms of where we could take it, I'm not doing any gay shit, and so that's probably like the primary thing. We've had obviously people asking us if we would ever shoot with a trans person. I'm not interested in that either. So I can't really think of where we would take it.
Without belaboring it, I'm gonna let you carry on.
Sure.
Just one last piece. Times we aren't really, seeing ourselves in as much as you said she brought the conversation to you. You said that you didn't feel comfortable initially with the Jason Love being involved in.
Well, I agreed to the Jason Love thing. It was just once it actually took place, I had a tiny amount of buyer's remorse that I quickly replaced with realizing like, oh, this is not a big deal. Nothing changed in our relationship after she shot with another guy. So that was pretty abated quickly. Right.
So it's like called the inversion of morals, which is to say that truth be told, in your heart of hearts, you're not comfortable with it. You want to retain your spouse.
I've had moments of
one second. I didn't interrupt you at all because I do want to hear you out.
You're kind of pushing like a fake narrative by saying that I'm uncomfortable with it.
But I never interrupted you.
Very comfortable.
I never interrupted you because I want to hear you out.
I just wanted to save you a little bit of breath by correcting you before.
I'm not trying to get you angry. I sincerely am interested in what you have to say, but I didn't interrupt you one time. So the reason I ask is because, as I said, you started off. You said that you felt uncomfortable when it happened. She brought up the conversation. You're not bisexual. So sometimes when things happen and you want to keep your lady, you make the adjustment compromising, but in your heart of heart, that's not really what you wanted. That's
exactly what happened. You understand? Like, to me, I was in a relationship. I'm saying I was vocal about, my stance of how I felt. And, unconditional, when you love somebody, you're willing, or you can be willing to go to great extremes in order to make this person happy. But as a man, you're the leader of the relationship. And let's just continue that.
So you're being open, and then you had this idea planted, and then you start adopting it, thinking like, okay, well, I'm okay with it. Maybe it's something that I signed off on too. So you assign it mutuality when in actual fact, the inception of that idea came from her and you've adjusted to it.
Right. I wouldn't say the inception of the idea came entirely from her. This is a conversation we've been having throughout the entirety of our relationship as we met more and more male performers that I was comfortable with, and sort of slowly over time realized that this is something that we both felt comfortable with.
When you say that you were comfortable with, right? And it came over time. Whereas with the females, it just came straight away, almost like a natural thing, you might say.
Right.
So why in terms of when the guy comes along, there has to be a process, because it's a process of adjusting to something that's unpleasant?
Great question.
Why was there a process that it took some adoption? What are you asking?
Seems as though different than the females came naturally, and it seemed to not be an issue.
It was a very clearly worded question.
It really
I think he was trying a diversionary tactic to get himself up out of it. But I would say a question like that is a check. Let's not say it's a checkmate on the board, because I'd be interested to see his answer to that. Right. But Adam may have felt checkmated, so he diverted his attention.
Donated $200. I guess it is fair that you get to bang other girls, so logically she should get outside D. Still, gotta be tough to see another dude rail your woman. Also, paging Butler, these folks need your wisdom.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this dude gets it, that of course it's going to be a little awkward for you to go through the transition of seeing your girl do that for the first time. But ultimately, she told me, even up until the moment that she was leaving the house to go shoot it, she's like, I won't do this if you don't feel comfortable with it. And I told her, even though there is a degree to which I don't feel comfortable with it, I'm still willing to give this a shot because I realize the underlying value. And I mean, to be honest, we've both made 7 figures off of that one scene in and of itself.
And I believe that. I don't doubt the financial aspect at all. But like, for example, I know maybe people watching might not be able to relate to this, but say once you cross $2 million, right? Have you found that there are a significant number of things you can do with money that you can't do when you have 2 million versus say 15 million?
I'm not really doing anything with any of the money I make. I don't have any sort of like fancy habits or hobbies or anything like that. And she's the same way as me. I mean, we're into buying property and starting businesses and stuff like that, but it's not really about the money and what we can do with it, because we don't really do anything with it.
It's so crazy because you're hearing him say at one junction, it's not about the money, but then you just hear him say that it was money motivated.
Yeah,
money is not everything, fellas.
Money
there should not be a man that is watching this content right now that should ever sell their soul for $7 million.
Right. And I think he's saying that money makes it better. You know what I mean? I think he's pretty much detached himself from it and has, you know, the money has made it worth it. And I think that more so than ever, he realizes that, you know, I think more so than ever, like he's realized that, well, I've been with this woman for a long time. She has desires. I have desires. Let's make money off of it. And to me, could be a pimp principle. I'm just not a pimp. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be the one that's allowing my wife to do such a thing. It's one thing to have a side chick and put her through the process, and she's already into that. But I guess you have to accept people for who they are and for where they are. And honestly, if she did have these desires and he's already married to her, you know what? There's nothing he can. The relationship would have took its course, and she would have done something anyway. So let's continue. And that's why it's important to get to know who you are about to marry. You understand? And to have open and honest dialogues.
The short-term benefit of that $1 million, $2 million, let's say even $3 million should not override the long-term benefit of having a fantastic mark that you left on this world, a legacy that is worth communicating to your children and your grandchildren about. There's not a man that watches this platform that should be that damn cheap and easy.
Right. So when you say there was an underlying value,
probably just money primarily.
Yeah,
but
that's
then
what he's saying.
also,
no, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So.
Thing, but also I can say that when we shot the scene with this other guy, you know, we did 7 years straight of just
conversation. You're not bisexual.
It's so crazy because you're hearing him say at one junction, it's not about the money, but then you just hear him say that.
But then also I think
you guys, all right, wait, go ahead. Let one of them talk.
Sexual
I think that's a checkmate. That's a checkmate right there. That's a checkmate. Let one of them.
Morals over money at the end of the day, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Don't become like Adam, who's a fake happy demon. So anyway, you see kind of the dynamic. The saint and the sinner is asking these questions from a morality, motivation perspective, while Adam22 was backed into a corner, one of which logic is just not his strong suit. Let's actually fast forward to the rage quit later in the conversation. I'll say it's about 30 or so minutes later, so we can see what ticked Adam off to get him to walk out.
Here's the point. You're currently a cocktail server, which consists of, hey, I'll have a Jack and Coke. Okay. And then you walk away, tell someone else Jack and Coke. They hand you a Jack and Coke. You come back and bring it back to me and hope that I would give you a good tip. That's your skill set.
And what about it?
It's a hard work.
And what about it?
It's a hard work.
And what about it?
Yeah, there is no skill set is the point, which is to say if I took your brain and placed your brain into a man's body, you would be in poverty.
You caught me.
Because you're brainless. Carrying on.
You're right, yeah. I'm just good for nothing. Yep, you caught me.
No, you are good for something. That's why you have OnlyFans. And that's my point, is that that's what you're good for. And I'm not trying to be rude, but it's just that
I think you are trying to be rude.
No, I'm just being honest.
No, I mean, being honest on what? I mean, do you am as a person? I mean, before like throwing these insults that I'm just this brain dead fucking woman who has nothing to offer?
I think we should avoid ad hominem.
But is it ad hominem when you actually, there were some, but
brainless might be a little.
Do you even know me? Like, you don't even, and you're only calling me brainless because I'm the only one responding to you.
Do you think
you know what I think has him a little bit upset? Just so you know, every girl sitting on this side of the table earns more money than him.
Yeah.
Stop.
He's an imposter. He's been outed in the
And
past
he's mad about it.
He
And
basically
he's mad.
LARPs as a
Honestly,
rich guy on the internet.
Now, just to give a little bit of context, Saint was going back and forth with the young lady who I believe has an OnlyFans or some degree of sex work, and was talking to her regarding her relative worth or utility on the planet. As to say is that if you take your skill set and if you were to become a man, well, you wouldn't be worth much to this world. Adam interjects because this is an attack to Adam as well, because he's into S work as well.
I was absolutely
on
poor. It
behalf
would mean
of
nothing.
all the girls,
It would mean nothing.
I think we all are kind of in agreement that we don't really want to sit here and listen to someone who's basically a scam artist tell us what's wrong with our lives.
This is amazing.
What do you do
So
for work?
I'm kind
How do you
of
make
on the
money?
edge of
What do you
walking
do for
out,
work?
Brian. I'm gonna be totally
What do
real.
you do for work?
And I'm not walking out on like
What do you do
I
for
just
work?
don't
No, what
really
do you
want to
do for
listen to a
work?
scam artist
You
tell me
can,
what's so
What do you
wrong
do
with
for
our
work?
Google my
lifestyles,
name.
right?
You
know who
can
you
right
are.
now. You can Google my name.
If you
right
Google
now.
his
Does anyone
name,
know
you'll
who
be
I
hurt-
exhilarated.
I hurt your feelings earlier, and
You didn't hurt my feelings
I
at
did hurt
all.
your
It's just you're
feelings
trying
earlier.
to
And
do
the
this
whole
whole
chat
moral
is hurting your
superiority
feelings.
thing, and it's not
The
working
whole
because
chat is
you're
hurting
broke.
your feelings.
You're
The whole chat is-
actually broke.
Here's the
saying
funny.
You got a milk dud on top of your head.
Here's the funny thing.
I'm just being real with you.
If I was actually broke, it literally would mean nothing to me.
Then let's have them.
If I was broke, would mean it shouldn't mean anything to you, because you, sir, are saying that what you're doing is not about the money, but you have so much money. You know what I'm saying? So
You do an
still
NFT
had a
scam
soul-
on your fans for
Look,
like
if I still
$400.
See?
Checkmate.
Silliness.
This guy's a scammer.
The first time when I saw this, I was saying to myself, oh, they must have a particular history. If you guys know what this history is, feel free to leave it down in the comment box down below, because I'm not familiar with it. But I find it so odd that Adam says you're trying this morally superiority thing, but it's not working because you're broke. What does money have to do with being morally superior? I think Adam's completely wrong here.
Exactly.
The moral superiority that he's juxtaposing to the decisions that Adam22 has made in his life is bothering Adam. This is his deepest fear and his deepest insecurity. And now that he's out of the digital bubble where he feels protected and he's interacting with somebody who is making him feel the consequences of his actions, there goes the inevitable rage quit. Let's watch.
So,
Is that his job as
I
an actual
think
scammer?
I'm gonna leave, and if any girls want to leave with me, I'd be happy to take you with me.
He's rage quitting. He's rage quitting.
It's not a rage quit. It's just you're not on the level
He's
of
rage
me
Adam,
or
in the
any
line.
of these
No,
girls.
Guys, hold on. Let's just take a pause.
I didn't mean to make him
I
rage
think
quit.
I'm done,
No,
Brian.
Adam.
I don't want to listen to this guy anymore, and I feel like I might do something extreme if I were to stick around.
When I first walked in, I
I
said,
might
"Do you
have
want
to
the fade?"
polish that milk dud.
When I first walked,
Guys,
when I
guys,
saw you
appreciate you
downstairs,
guys.
I said, "Do you want the fade?" And you said no.
Wow.
Okay.
See what you
When I
fucking
first
did?
walked, I said, "Do you want
Thanks
the
a
fade?"
lot.
You said no. We could have took care of that before the show started.
Do you guys have like some pre-existing beef or something?
Listen,
okay,
when
what if
I
we
came in,
kick this
when
guy
I
out
came in
instead?
downstairs, the first thing I said when I saw him, I said, "Do you need that fade?" And he said, "No, it's just content."
Oh, I didn't know you guys had like.
Yeah, as soon as
Yeah.
I walked up,
They
I
must
said,
have-
"Do you need that fade?" And he said, "No, it's
Can
just
we grab
content."
this guy?
Oh, but I mean, like, did you guys have like a previous?
Yeah,
wait,
because
what's
I went
that?
on No Jumper. He waited until I left the state of California, and then he started talking crazy. And I said, if you had an issue with Marquette Devon Burton, you could have said that to me when I was right there in your studio. Like, you don't have to wait until I
did
leave.
you do an episode with him? I don't listen.
I was like, you don't have to wait
I
till
don't-
I leave.
I don't know.
And then he DM'd me on Instagram like, "Hey, bro, we got to like do a show when you come back." It's like,
Wait,
you're phony.
are you leaving?
Damn, the super villain. The super villain.
Premise of the show. What?
Wow. No, I'm the super villain.
Yeah,
Wow.
because you're a fucking dick and you're an idiot.
She is angry. She wants her clout. She has like a tear in her
talk to
eye.
Adam. Go talk to Adam.
She has a tear in her eye. That's
So Adam rage quits. He never comes back to the show. And honestly, I think that for the continuation of his career, he made a fantastic decision. Because he's probably thinking to himself is that he's going to be made into a content milk factory from the questions that were being levied his way. And he's not about to sit through the next 4 hours of having these questions, these formulaic questions, while having to defend a lifestyle which is unequivocally less moral than the lifestyle of a corn actor that involves his wife in the business.
all right, guys, I hope you liked the channel today. I hope you guys have learned what you guys could have taken from the video. Is power. Stay emotionally intelligent, grounded. This is power, what separates the boys from men. If you like content like this, please subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and join the League of Extraordinary Kings. And until next time, the world is yours.